Yet again, Taylor Swift owns Donald Trump. She just does. I mean, that is a fact. She is in his head so much that even when she's not in the public eye or not doing anything, she's not out on tour, he's still talking about her. And this is a guy that for his political life has basically been Teflon. He's got entire news channels and an entire influencer base dedicated to doing nothing but making his abnormal, crazy shit seem normal. They make him seem like a mammal. I mean, he's more weird than Michael Jackson, and yet somehow he got reelected as president of the United States. Even to the point where when people copy his style, like Gavin Newsom, then the Trump media apparatus spins into action trying to make Gavin Newsom seem unhinged and crazy, and this is inappropriate, when all he does is copy Trump. To the point where the hypocrisy is on full display with that. But then Taylor Swift does nothing. She does nothing but go on her boyfriend's podcast, crashes the internet, 15 million views in like 6 hours or 7 hours, and totally proves Donald Trump is an idiot, that he has no idea what he's talking about. And this is a guy I will acknowledge I'm dead set against him. But I will acknowledge that he has this thing. I mean, he writes and he speaks at a sub fifth grade level. And for whatever reason, and it pains me to say this as a writer, as someone who is an avid reader, student of history, someone who prides themselves on their ability to use words to communicate, especially written. Give me a pass on the videos, please. But he connects with a certain type of person. Maybe it's just because, like, when you speak at that level, you have to be very blunt. You have to be very clear because there's just not much nuance. There's not much going on there. You know, when you're a third grader or fourth grader, there's not a whole lot of subtle communication going on. You know, it's just right out there. And when he attacked Taylor Swift earlier this month because of Sydney Sweeney, of all people, it was just kind of out of left field. Like, she's not in the public eye, and, you know, he calls her no longer hot, and she's woke, and she's over, and everything else. And then she does this. She doesn't even have to plan it, and she just torpedoes his arguments. I mean, there's just news article after news article after news article on just an hour long. It was supposed to be 2 hours, but they actually had so many people watching that it broke the stream, about a podcast. Just article after article after article, people reacting and responding over her name dropping them in the podcast. Contrast that with Trump's disastrous weekend, treated like a simp, I guess you would say, by Putin, having our military roll out the red carpet for a Russian dictator and oligarchs. And contrast is just phenomenal. It really gives me hope that we're going to come out at the end of this somehow. But just, if you don't remember, just earlier this month, this is what Donald Trump was saying about Taylor Swift. These are his posts on his social media website. Sydney Sweeney, a registered Republican, is the hottest ad out there. It's for American Eagle, and the jeans are flying off the shelves. I mentioned, drop in the comments. Please hit like and subscribe if you've made it this far, and I really do appreciate if you've watched this far. Go get him, Sydney. On the other side of the ledger, Jaguar did a stupid, the Jaguar ad, blah, 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 blah. And then he just out of nowhere, or just look at woke singer Taylor Swift. Ever since I alerted the world as to what she was by saying on Truth that I can't stand her, hate, she was booed out of the Super Bowl and became no longer hot. The tide has seriously turned. Being woke is for losers. Being Republican is what you want to be. Thank you for your attention to this matter. I've been a Republican most of my life. I can guarantee you Republican is not, was never like a thing. And then she does the podcast, breaks the internet. And I gotta ask, if any Swifties happen to be watching this, do you guys think the orange door thing and the new color orange is like a Trump Easter egg? the Orange Man and everything else. I really don't know. I haven't really thought about it. I'm just interested to hear anybody's thoughts on that. But yeah, he says this deranged stuff about this, and then she does the podcast, and again, it is 15 million views, 24 hours. It's just phenomenal. And there's even now a behind the scenes of the podcast video out there on what happened and why it ended suddenly and all this. It is almost internet history now, this podcast. Because New Horizons was very popular to begin with. I mean, it is a very good podcast. There's a lot of insightful things in it. But this is another level. The Sydney Sweeney one is kind of, yeah, okay, whatever. But when you're in the middle of the Epstein file scandal, is this really something you want to be commenting? Again, is this really something you should be commenting on? Maybe just shut up. Just release the files. Shut up. If you're in them, you're in them. If you're not, fine. I mean, let's face it. It's not, if Trump is in those files so much that we could legitimately rename them the Trump files, does anybody seriously think that anything is going to change? Does anybody really think if he is all over those Epstein files, does anybody really think he's going to get impeached? I don't. I think the Republicans would be in lockstep. Well, we always thought that maybe the age of consent should be lowered or something like that. It would be sickening. It would be absolutely disgusting. But we already see it. I mean, there's already commentary in that direction, along with pardoning Ghislaine Maxwell. Like, she was a victim. Yeah, whatever. Yeah. Kind of like, who's the Chapo? It was Noriega. Kind of like Noriega was a victim, right? Oh, I didn't know what I was doing. Sure. Anyway, I appreciate listening. Please hit like and subscribe. And if you have any answers to the questions I asked earlier, please drop in the comments. Thanks a lot. Bye.